Hey guys, welcome to another video.
As full-time resellers, we all know that returns absolutely suck. It sucks when you get returns. We've sold over 11,000 pairs of shoes and we've had less than 50 returns. That's a 0.005% return rate.
In today's video, we're going to talk about the 4 things that we do to keep our return rates so low.
Let's dive in. Welcome to our channel. My name is Ryan.
And I'm Lindsay.
We are a husband and wife team and we go by Rnzy. We're full-time shoe resellers, and what that means is we buy and sell shoes for profit on multiple marketplaces. Today, we're talking about how to keep your return rate down.
So the 4 things we're going to talk about today are photography, description, customer service, and red flags.
And at the end of this video, we are going to talk about some of the common questions that you are going to get from buyers and how we respond to them. Before we dive into those 4 things that will help you decrease your return rate, it's super important to understand that we do not sell on Amazon and eBay. And the reason that we wanted to make that very, very clear is the marketplaces that we use have great seller protection. So already right out of the gate, before we talk about these 4 things, we are putting ourselves as sellers in a very good position with that seller protection. So if you are someone who sells on Amazon or eBay, there might be a few things that apply in this video, but the majority of what we're talking about is decreasing the return rates on the marketplaces that we use, and right now mainly that's Poshmark and Mercari. Let's dive in. Okay, so the first thing that we want to talk about that will help you decrease your return rates is photography. And what we mean by that is if you are using high quality, well-lit photos showing all angles, the buyers know exactly what they are buying. Now right here, we're going to show you the photos that we use on this pair of Adidas Rnzys and the different angles that we use. And as you can see, they're very well lit. We're showing absolutely all angles of the shoe. There's not any part of the shoe that isn't shown in our photos. And why this is so important to help decrease your return rates is if you don't show every single angle, there might be a blemish on one part of the shoe that you haven't shown. It gives power to a buyer to open up a return case for whatever reason. For example, they could say, oh, I didn't know that there was a scuff on the bottom of the shoes. It wasn't shown in the listing. Then there might be a better chance that the return will be accepted. So if you are in every single one of your listings using high quality, well-lit photos showing all angles, it will decrease your return rate. Now, some bonus content right here. We're not saying that you have to go out and buy an expensive camera and get some kind of program that will make your photos look good. We're actually saying the opposite. We use our phones to take all of our photos. We have an iPhone 7 Plus. We never, ever, ever use any filters. We never, ever edit the photos. We are showing a very honest depiction of what the shoes look like.
So now we want to talk about description, and what you want to do with your description is as concisely as possible answer every single question a buyer may have in that description. So that includes the condition, the size, we like to put the color, any information that you think the buyer might want to know, put that in the description so it answers all of their questions before they even ask.
It's super, super important to be honest with your description. For example, we see a lot of people using the words like new when describing used shoes. Now, you may think that they are like new because they're gently used, but what's worked well for us is under promise and over deliver. So if they've been worn, we use gently used. Even if we get shoes from the outlet, obviously they're considered brand new, but someone has tried them on in the outlet, we will list them as gently used. And then what happens, because you've taken well-lit photos and because you've given an honest description, people know exactly what they're purchasing, and then when they receive them, they say, oh, these are in better condition than I thought, which reduces your return rate.
So now that you've taken your well-lit photos and you have your thorough description, we want to talk about customer service and how that can also decrease your return rate. Even though you have these well-lit photos and a description, buyers will sometimes continue to ask questions about the shoes. It's important to have really great customer service. That means rapid customer service. We try to respond usually within minutes, unless we're asleep, then maybe the next morning. And also with honest and detailed answers. So if they're asking more questions about a specific spot on the shoe or about the sizing or anything like that, just make sure you're responding back respectfully and honestly about the condition and style, size, anything about that shoe.
Most of the time you're going to run into scenarios where, as Lindsay said, you've already given all this information. Some buyers just need you to reiterate that information, and you're doing it in your description, but in customer service you're going to decrease those return rates by being pleasant and responding to every single question. Alright, so the last thing that we want to talk about that's going to help you decrease your return rates is noticing red flags. So you've taken well-lit photos, you have honest, thorough descriptions, you're giving great customer service. Sometimes through customer service you're going to see these red flags. Now let's bring up an example of a red flag that we came across in October of last year. A buyer reached out to us and said, I've never tried on Blondo and had foot surgery, and I'm in between sizes. We went on to the conversation. We let them know that it would probably be best to be going into a shoe store if you've had surgery and are in between sizes, because on this marketplace there are no returns if these don't fit right. These are a women's 8.5 and they fit like a women's 8.5. So we're giving that great customer service, but we're noticing a big red flag, actually 3 red flags. They've never tried this brand before. They've had foot surgery. Foot ailments, especially as a shoe reseller, are something that you want to keep an eye out for. You always want to give the best possible product, but sometimes it just does not make sense to purchase shoes online when you need that in-person customer service. So we are very kind in responding to this person, but we notice these red flags and we do not want to sell to this buyer. It does not make sense, and there's a much bigger chance that there is going to be a potential return with buyers like this. Now, we learned this from sellers that are much bigger than us. They have whole teams that provide customer service, and they're trained to look for red flags like this. You're gonna notice some other types of red flags, and the more that you give great customer service, you're gonna feel that thing. You're gonna say, you know what, here's another example. Sometimes someone will go into your listings and all of a sudden you'll see them start commenting on a bunch of different pairs and say, hey, is that a rip on the toe? Hey, is that a blemish in the heel? Hey, I usually don't like this brand but because they don't fit right, but I'm thinking about buying these. All these things that give you a red flag in your head, like, well, then why are you buying these? And if you're already complaining about the shoes, maybe this isn't the best shoe to purchase for you. And don't be afraid to not sell to people. You don't have to sell to everyone. There's millions and millions of buyers on all of these marketplaces. And by giving great customer service and then, of course, noticing these red flags, you can decrease your return rate. All right, so as promised, we want to talk about 3 common questions that you are going to get from buyers and how we respond to them. So the 3 questions that we get all the time are, how do these shoes fit? How many miles are on these shoes? And can you hold these shoes till and fill in the blank?
So when someone asks how these shoes fit, it's super easy to figure that out, and you just go on Google. So what we'll do is if someone's like on a pair of Keen hiking boots or something, they'll be like, do these fit small or do these fit big or whatever it might be. We literally just go on Google and type in, do Keen hiking boots run big? And you'll see tons of forums and comments and whatever, and you'll weed through them and find the answer, and then you're simply just relaying that information to the buyer.
This goes right back into providing good customer service. Plus, you're building your knowledge of each and every single brand. The second question, how many miles are on these shoes? We completely understand why people ask this question, because brands are putting out information that you could get 200 miles out of this, you could get 500 miles out of this shoe. The problem as resellers is you cannot give an honest answer to this question. So it does not make sense to say, oh, I'm pretty sure there's between 100 and 150 miles. Plus, different people put different wear on the same amount of mileage. So when someone says how many miles are on this shoe, the great customer service that we provide is, well, we can't give you an honest answer. The best thing that we can do is show you well-lit photos showing all angles so you can see the exact condition these shoes are in. And then what we'll do is put in a call to action. We'll say, have you had a chance to look through all the photos yet? Now, 99 times out of 100, that will lead to someone saying, oh, thank you so much. I have seen the photos and the condition. And you can go from there.
So the third and final question that we're going to talk about is when people ask, can you hold these until next Thursday or until after my son's birthday or whatever the heck the date is? And we just give a really, really simple, respectful response back. We have made the preference to not offer any holds. So we say that. We calmly say, we do not offer holds, but feel free to reach out when you're ready to purchase. And if they're still available, we'll be happy to sell them to you or to negotiate if they've asked for a lower price or whatever. But yes, we do not offer holds.
Yeah, and it's been our experience too. If you do offer holds, it's slowing your business down tremendously. And more often than not, those people that are asking for the hold don't actually come back to make the purchase. Those same individuals are asking multiple people to hold multiple pairs of shoes for payday or after my son's birthday, as Lindsay mentioned. And they don't, more often than not, they do not come back. So don't slow down your business. Create a sense of urgency respectfully, like Lindsay said, and said, when you're ready to purchase, we'll come to an agreement and we'll get them shipped out immediately. And that usually solves everything. All right, that's what we got for you guys today.
If you have any questions, jump right into the comments below.
And until the next video, we hope you enjoy each and every single step.